As many of you know, if you've watched this channel at all, we deal with all kinds of wildlife around the boat ramps. Down at Black Point, we've got crocodiles and manatees in the water. Over at Boynton, we deal with a lot of stingrays and fish and things like that. Here at 79th, we deal with these guys. All the time, these iguanas are always around us. It's always an interesting scene because anytime a boat gets close to the trees or something, like 20 of them will just drop out into the water, and it's kind of chaos for a few seconds. But just one of the things we deal with to bring you guys this content. Welcome back, crew, to the greatest show on earth, and that is the Miami Boat Ramps channel. And as we mentioned today, we are down here at 79th Street. As usual, it is busy down here at 79th. I don't know if we ever catch, especially any of the weekend days where it's not. I mean, even when it's raining, it feels like there's people launching and retrieving here. But we've got one of our crews coming in on 6. Lady with the lines, ready to roll. And Cap, it looks like he's just going to miss. Oh, she kind of just rolled her eyes. She is not impressed whatsoever with that attempt. So our guy's walking up with the stern line, but Cap's going to have to back out on this one. I think she's done for the day because she really did. She had that look on her face like, get me off of this boat. So Cap's basically completely missed here. Gonna have to back out on this one. Gotta watch out. He's got somebody coming up behind him on the stern. And this crew's actually been waiting for quite some time as well. The crew to the left here was waiting for probably 5 or 6 minutes for a ramp. And Cap was actually getting a little frustrated himself, but lands it the first try. And our crew here is going to have to go at it again. And this is pretty common for 79th Street. We get the actual party crews here. The crews that have been out hanging out on the sandbars in Biscayne Bay, enjoying themselves. So this is not an uncommon scene, but it always creates an interesting scene when these boats come back into dock because typically most of the people on this vessel have had a little bit of fun out there on the bay, and it can create for some interesting scenes. So our crew's making their approach on the dock, and I didn't bother to count how many people were in this boat, but it's got to be near capacity. So Cap's making his approach, coming around, looks pretty solid. Taking it easy. But I see Cap, he's kind of leaving the helm and doing everything, which makes me think this is a charter. Which is a little interesting because if this is a charter, I don't think this is an inspected boat, which means they're probably over capacity on the charter. And this is something they've been cracking down heavy on down here in Miami. We've seen it several times where boats like this come back into the dock, and the first thing that happens is FWC approaches them and starts looking at everything. But the reality is on a non-inspected vessel, the most my man can have is paying customers on here is going to be 6. But like I said, when I see a captain leave the helm with this many people on the boat, start moving lines and doing things like that, that definitely makes me think in the back of my head, this is some sort of charter that he's done. So Cap's going back to the helm, and he's going to start working on his approach. You can definitely tell the crew's had some fun, but the good news for this crew is because it's probably a chartered vessel, Cap's not partaking in that fun. So we've got a decent approach, comes in, using a soft touch, and this will be the sign. If Cap's the only one who makes the approach to the dock, if he leaves the helm to go after the dock, I guarantee this is a charter. So Cap's pulling in, and there he goes. He's leaving the helm. He's going to step off to secure the vessel and make sure everybody gets off of this one. But again, yeah, so it's one of those situations you gotta believe, but this crew had a great day out there. I'm sure Cap did a great job for him, and now they're gonna come in and hopefully everybody makes it off the vessel okay. Now this one's not something we see often. Somebody's went ahead and went out there, decided they were gonna pick themselves up a bay liner, and then go ahead and redo the whole thing. Looks great, but it's just not something very common we see done with a bay liner. The old Haulover killer itself. But my crew's going to go ahead, make their approach on the dock. Let's see how they roll. Hopefully with this nice, beautiful paint job, he makes it over there okay. So Cap's going to leave the helm. Never recommend that one. He's going for the grab on the pole himself and actually leaves the boat, which I even recommend less, especially if there's somebody else on the vessel. But he's got the boat. I can't tell if he's in gear because it's trying to pull out on him. Oh, tug of war. Cap's pulling. Tells her to go grab a stern line. And I guess it wasn't in gear. They were just in idle. It just had way too much momentum as they came in. But Cap's going to try and get it around. Our girl's going to go for the toss. There we go. And we'll get this one pulled over. It is still interesting to see a bayliner decked out like this. I mean, what are your thoughts on this? Is this something you would do to a vessel like this? And this crew's been having a little fun out here. I'm going to have to cut some of this out that we've already seen because we got to keep it G-rated on this channel. But they just realized that the camera's been on them for a while. And we'll just say prior to this, there were some things we couldn't show on camera. But the crews now notice the camera, realize they're being recorded, and that one always makes an interesting scene as well, especially when you get these party crews out here because they typically like to have a little fun in front of the camera then as well. But we'll just say there was a wardrobe malfunction. Our girl who's getting onto the jet ski, they were trying to get the life jacket on, and, well, things came off as they were trying to get it on. But this crew looks like they're about ready to roll, head out into Biscayne Bay and enjoy the day. But got a little libations flowing in the background as Cap just starts pouring. And Miami's just a different beast, man. Everybody's down here to have a good time. And this crew is no different whatsoever. But it's always interesting, too. Our guy in the front had the camera out. He was recording for the gram, because it's all about the gram down here. But our crew, looks like they got our girl on the jet ski. They're taking off. Boat's going to take off as well. And they're on their way. And speaking of being on their way, we're going to go ahead and get out of here as well. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Miami Boat Ramps. If you did, please check out our other content. We have Wavy Boats, who does a bunch of great things down at the inlets. My channel, Broncos Guru, we do some great comedy boating videos there as well. And of course, we've got Boats vs. Haulover, where man and machine take on Mother Nature down at Haulover Inlet. And if you guys haven't already, go ahead and drop an anchor on the subscribe button here.